All right. I just finished listening to, well, I say I just finished listening to, a couple of days ago, I finished listening to The Psychology of Money by Morgan Housel. Housel, I think that's how you say it. Really good book, really good book. And one of the things I learned in the book, which seems to have nothing to do with money, is how ice ages come about, which was discovered by a succession, first a Siberian, then a Russian scientist. Ice ages come about not because of particularly cold winters, but because of cold summers. So the summer isn't hot enough to melt all the ice from the previous year. What happens is it's easier for the ice from the next year to stick to that ice. The ice builds up and builds up. More ice reflects more of the sun's heat away from the earth. Eventually that leads to an ice age. That was used to describe the power of compounding, which is, it's I read a book called The Power of Compounding a little while ago. I think I reviewed that as well. Compounding is a massive, it's an amazing thing. So that was actually used as well when they were talking about Warren Buffett. Now everyone says Warren Buffett is the greatest investor on earth, and certainly if you just look at the amount of money he's actually managed to accumulate, he probably is. But if you consider a great investor to be an investor who makes good returns for a long period of time, then Warren Buffett is not one of the best. Warren Buffett has been investing since he was 10 years old. So he's been investing for about, how old is he now? He's nearly 90. He's been investing for about 80 years. And the vast majority of his wealth was actually accumulated in the last 10 years. Because his average return is about 20% a year. So obviously as he gets richer and richer, 20% of the previous year's number is going to be a lot more. Now, he's averaged about 20% a year. My favourite investor is a guy called Jim Simmons. Jim Simmons started in his 50s. He's a bit younger than Warren Buffett. And he's not as rich as Warren Buffett, but his average return, Jim Simmons is the founder of Renaissance Technologies, his average return is about 66% a year. So who's the better investor? I said Jim Simmons. If Jim Simmons had been investing as long as Warren Buffett, he'd be worth quadrillions and unimaginable amounts of money now. He'd be so rich it would be stupid. He'd probably be able to buy the world. He'd certainly be able to buy the American legal system. We know that much, don't we? Getting political, sorry. Really good book. And it's The Psychology of Money. So it talks about how people's experiences are different, and therefore the way they view managing money, what makes sense to do with their money for each individual is different. And because it's such a good book, it also talks about risk and luck, and they're so connected. So one of the people it mentions is Bill Gates. All right, Bill Gates was at a school in America which had a computer. The chances of that were, I think they say something like 1 in 30 million, right? So he got lucky. He's also incredibly smart, incredibly hardworking, everything else. Oh, and I have my jab, by the way, anti-vaxxers. As far as I know, I'm not being microchipped, and Bill Gates doesn't know what I'm doing, and he's not controlling my mind by Microsoft. No, it's fucking retards out there, right? Anyway, so Bill Gates went to a school with a computer there. Extremely rare. He was also extremely smart, extremely hardworking, everything else that you need to succeed. But if he hadn't been out of school with a computer there, there'd probably be no Microsoft. And if the timing hadn't been right, there'd probably be no Microsoft. One of his friends, who he says was smarter than him in every way, harder working than him, and certainly would have been a co-founder of Microsoft, he didn't get lucky like Gates with the odds of 1 in 300 million. He got unlucky and he died very young before he completed school in a climbing accident, I think it was. So there you go, it talks about that as well. It also talks about the importance of not getting rich, of keeping your money, staying rich. One of the old sayings I've heard about this, which is great, it's not what you make, it's what you keep. So there was a guy who worked as a janitor all his life. He bought a house for $12,000 a long time ago. He never moved out. He never took on more debt. He never took on another mortgage. When he died, he was worth over $8 million. Worked as a janitor, caretaker, whatever. So, really good book, by the way. Can you tell I enjoyed it? I'll probably listen to it again because I listened to it on double speed. I listen to everything on Audible on double speed. Otherwise, they speak like this. And it's so boring. And yeah, I can't take it. I listen to everything on double speed. So the way they speak when they're talking in the books is probably about the same speed as most normal humans speak. Why should you slow it down? I'll probably listen to it again. It's really, really good. It's a great book. I'm going to push the boat out. I'm going to give it 9 out of 10. I suggest you read it. I was just about to hold this book up and say it's this one, but it's not this one. I listened to it on Audible. A lot of people in the reviews said things like, "Oh, we already know all this." Yeah, but most people know stuff that they'll never implement. Everybody knows why you get fat. You eat too much. Probably more than half the world's fat. Unless those people really want to be fat, I don't know. It's just an old analogy that doesn't wear thin. As far as I'm concerned. All right, good book, The Psychology of Money by Morgan Housel. I might listen to it again. I'll probably do another review as well, because I've got 5 minutes now, so I thought, let me do this book review. I thoroughly recommend it. All right, hope you enjoyed that.